in Lower Manhattan Monday. She's one of 6 female correction officers assigned to the Manhattan Detention Center accused of illegal strip searches.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Chantel Red, the grown-ass teenager in the building. And a couple of people sent me this video. Let's watch the video, and then we're going to get into it.
Begin with the arrest of 6 New York City correction officers accused of illegally strip searching visitors at the Manhattan Detention Complex.
Prosecutors say the officers, all of them women, conducted intimate strip searches that humiliated women visiting inmates at the jail.
Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is live in Lower Manhattan with our lead story tonight. Darla.
Well, Liz, in 4 of the 5 searches, these illegal searches, these correction officers did in fact find contraband, and their union president says that in fact justifies their action. However, prosecutors say the Department of Corrections rules are very clear. Not only is it against their rules, these are human rights violations, and prosecutors say they have this all on video. Hostility and aggression from recently indicted correction officer LaToya Shuford getting physical as she leaves Supreme Court in Lower Manhattan Monday. She's one of 6 female correction officers assigned to the Manhattan Detention Center accused of illegal strip searches and body cavity searches on 5 different occasions in 2017 and 2018.
To base this on allegations and what somebody said as opposed to the fact, I think when this case is said and done, that my correction officers are going to be vindicated.
Leslie Ann Absalom, Daphne Farmer, Jennifer George, Lizette Rodriguez, Alifa Waiters, and LaToya Shuford have all been suspended pending the outcome of the 24-count indictment for an array of felony and misdemeanor charges, including unlawful imprisonment and conspiracy. On one occasion, prosecutors say Farmer and Rodriguez forced a female visitor to pull down her underwear and remove a napkin, and say in another incident involving a female visitor, Officer George held her wrist, surrounded her, and examined her vaginal and buttocks area.
At the end of the day, we're guilty of doing our job. We're guilty of trying to keep the jail safe. We're guilty of trying to keep visitors safe. We're guilty of trying to keep correction officers safe.
A written statement from the Department of Correction reads in part, if these allegations are proven true, the officers involved face termination. But the 6 indicted officers had tons of support from their colleagues from corrections, who all worked diligently to hide their faces from the press today, which didn't completely go. Now, the Department of Corrections wanted to make sure they clarify their search policy. Pat-down searches are permitted with written consent. They say that is what these officers did, that they falsified those written consent forms. But they want to clarify that body cavity searches and strip searches are not permitted at all.
LaToya, ma'am, what are you doing? Aggression and hostility. That's what they said. And that's what you showed. That's not good for your legal case or civil case or whatever case they want to bring up against you, because it shows that you don't have any self-control. So if you're doing this on camera in front of the world to see, what are you doing behind closed doors in that facility, ma'am? These people already formed an opinion against you, and it's not a good one, and you're confirming it. Secondly, are you a gynecologist? I certainly hope that that's an exaggeration and an allegation. Most likely it is, because nobody's going to do that. Now, at first I was on their side because they stopped contraband from coming inside of the facility. They do get contraband from the visitors. I know y'all all think they get it from the COs, and sometimes they do. I'm not denying that. But the visitors bring in contraband too. As you can see, 4 out of 5 of the illegal searches were successful. And like the union guy also said, you're punished for doing your job, for trying to keep contraband out of the facility, for trying to keep contraband away from the inmates. This job, I promise you, is damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because had they not found the contraband and the inmates went upstairs with the contraband and the officer upstairs found it, then it would have been like, was y'all searching these visitors today? Because we found this, that, and the third. And now you're going to get written up for not doing your job properly. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I don't know what happened, but the fact that the supervisor is up there, I feel like The officers called her and said, listen, Cap, this was going on, so what you want us to do? Could they have called her down afterwards or something? Perhaps. I don't know. I wasn't there. But maybe they didn't call a supervisor. However, the supervisor is responsible for her officers and the inmates. This is how it goes. This is a chain of command. It goes from the inmates to the officers. The officers are responsible for the inmates. The next up is the captain. The captain is responsible for the officers and the inmates. After the captain, it's the assistant deputy warden. They're responsible for the captain, the officers, and the inmates. So the higher you go, the higher the responsibility. So they may have not even called the captain down. She may just be in trouble because she's responsible for their actions. And then to tell somebody to move their pad, these girls got to be making up stuff. This definitely got to be allegation, because who's doing that? I don't want to see nobody's dirty pad. It's not that serious for me, boo-boo. If you got something in that pad, you got that. Yeah, you got that. You made it through. Congratulations. Because I'm not looking at nobody's pad. I don't want to see your panties. I don't want to see your bra. I don't want to see no part of your body. How the search goes, all you're supposed to do is tell these women to shake their bra. They have to lift it up from the bottom like this and shake it. That's what they got to do. So that way, if they have anything underneath here, it falls out. And then you're supposed to look at the seam of their pants. So they roll down their pants for you, so you can see the seam to know that it's not open, that they could seal any type of contraband in there. And then from there, you go down, all the way down to the socks. Make them lift up their pants legs so you can see the whole sock from the top down. If I can't see the top of the sock, you got to take the sock off. And then you got to take your sneakers, clap them together and shake them so whatever's in there falls out. That's it. You don't put your hands on folks, well, unless they consent, and y'all falsify documentation of consent. Crazy. Child, the lawful imprisonment. What is that? Did you tell the girls that they couldn't leave? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Unless they're exaggerating again, but I wasn't there. I don't know what happened for real. But from my 20-year experience, I could draw a conclusion. The girls probably was like, when they figure out that the COs was going hard and they going to search us crazy, never mind, ma'am, I'm just going to go. And them COs probably was like, no, you're not going nowhere. Because they give you an amnesty box in the front, which means whatever you have, drop it in there. Nobody looking for it. Nobody bothering you. We don't care. You good to go. This is your last shot. If you come through these doors, you subject to arrest. And they came through the door. Now they was like, nah, we gave you a chance. You still thought that you was going to come in here with that? Nah, you're not going nowhere. I could see that happening. Or what else possibly could have happened, maybe they put the girls in the room like, nah, you got to stay here until my captain comes. Because once you have a situation, you got to call the captain. So being that one of the indicted happens to be a captain, I'm going to say that they did call her down there. Once you call the captain, the liability and stuff is off for you, because now it's like, all right, yeah, Cap, so this is what I suspect. Now the captain gives you the direct orders to do whatever they feel needs to be done. So did the captain tell them to become a gynecologist and do a cavity search and a vaginal search? Allegedly, it seems like they just chummed up a bunch of charges. They just told their situation to the lawyer, and he said, we can hit him with all this. One of these shits gonna stick. And the conspiracy means that everybody conspired against you. Why? Who are you? But on the other hand, I have seen unhealthy relationships between officer and inmate. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're having sex with the inmate. It just means that it's an unhealthy and inappropriate relationship. Sometimes you see the same inmate day after day after day after month after month after year sometimes. And Of course, we're all human. We have conversations. People get emotionally attached. Because some of these dudes are manipulators and narcissists. Is every day like this, hey, Miss R, how you doing today? You good? Oh, your hair look nice. They be noticing shit about you that your man probably didn't even notice. Like, you changed your hair. Because all they do is watch you all day. They don't have nothing else to do. And you are a female. They around dudes all day. So when they around a female, they always want to talk to you because they want to talk to a woman. A smart person, a person like me, I'm going to know, like, you're trying to manipulate me. What do you want? Because I'm not bringing in no contraband. It could even not even be contraband. It could be nothing sexual. It could just be you want to be able to make moves when you want to be able to make moves. And I'm the person that's controlling the moves because I'm the CO. Some people don't know how to separate. And now she thinks that she's in some form of a relationship with this guy. And now she's working in the visit. Maybe she on overtime. Maybe her post is closed for whatever reason. Now she's working in the visit. And now she see you have a female coming up to see you. But meanwhile, you've been flirting with her every day. And they take it personal. And now they gonna treat you different. And they gonna get shorty when she get up here too. They can go up there and work overtime in the visits, possibly, or maybe call their friends like, yeah, shorty up there got contraband. So make sure you search her good. But they only doing it because they mad at the dude. So that's what I mean, unhealthy and inappropriate. I do have an interview, a conversation, shall I say, that I had with an inmate on the phone. And he spoke about unhealthy relationships with female correction officers. The human being wants and needs human contact. Mental, yeah, they be in there sleeping with them inmates, let's be clear. Whichever way it goes, you're risking your job for an inmate. But I hope that they learned their lesson, and I hope that they get their job back and keep their job. And that's all I got to say about that, y'all. Later.